How's it going, everybody? So today is a commentary video about the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, and two things that I'm hoping to accomplish today are first to help NASCAR Heat understand how they could potentially get better and make this a better league. And the second goal is to hopefully open some eyes to outsiders. If you don't watch the league, maybe I can help you understand what it's about and really what goes on. So I just want to say that this video isn't to trash the eNASCAR Heat Pro League at all whatsoever. I'm just going to be going over some important things. First and foremost, I'm a big fan of competitive NASCAR gaming, as some might say. You know, the iRacing series, iRacing Coca-Cola series, and the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. But today's video is only going to be about the eNASCAR Heat Pro League series and my current thoughts. Something that you have to understand first is that the eNASCAR Heat Pro League really is two different leagues kind of combined into one. So there's the Xbox platform and the PlayStation 4 platform. There's 14 different race teams that have a driver on each console, and those drivers compete separately, so there's no cross-platform in this league. And I'm mainly focusing on Season 2 of the Pro League today. I've always kind of viewed the PlayStation 4 League a little, I want to almost say a little bit more skilled or a little more talented than the Xbox League. I just come to this conclusion based on like lap times, number of cautions is a big one, but either way they're very close, and I have to make sure that I give credit to all the drivers in the Pro League. A lot of time goes into the setups that these guys make, and in the process of making a very competitive setup on NASCAR Heat 4, it actually takes hours and hours on end. So yes, they are playing a console video game, but ultimately they're putting in a lot of time and effort into their cars. Either way, I'm not going to critique each league. I'm kind of going to put the PlayStation and Xbox in the same boat here. The Pro League is, at least this season, split up into 3 different segments, kind of 4 because there's a wild card race at Daytona, which each segment winner goes to the championship race, which is currently undetermined. We don't know quite where that track's going to be. So in each segment there's 4 races, and I thought that the first 2 segments on both sides, Xbox and PlayStation, were relatively clean. The drivers were good at driving, the professionalism was professional. After all, it is the Pro League, so I shouldn't expect anything less. And I think in late segment 2 or segment 3, we really started to see some aggression between the drivers that really shouldn't be a thing. I watch the eNASCAR Heat Pro League pretty much every single week, so I would say I have a pretty good idea of what goes on in the races. A lot of the PS4 races go caution-free, and a lot of the Xbox races maybe have 1 or 2 cautions throughout. So I'm just going to kind of tell you what I see and what I observe, pretty much just telling it how it is. So originally there was a lot of aggressive driving at Atlanta, their Atlanta race, which turned into some actual throwing at Auto Club. Where people would quite literally wreck on purpose, and it was clear as day. You could see it from the broadcast, which eventually turned into, I don't even know what you would call it, at Road America, their most recent race. I several times throughout the race questioned what I was even watching. If you were watching the race, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a random online public lobby and NASCAR Heat 4 between the Pro League. And the only way for this to make any sense at all is for me to actually show you some of the incidents that happened in the race. Oh, and I forgot about this. This was before any of the racing even happened. At Auto Club, which was their previous race, there were some penalties handed out. But on this one occasion, the Hendrick Motorsports driver was docked 5 points for rough driving. I personally don't recall where that was, but if they gave him a penalty, I'm sure it happened. I just don't know off the top of my head where that happened. But the Stewart-Haas driver on the Xbox side was docked 10 points for intentionally causing a caution, basically driving into other cars to get a caution, and then a negative 5-point penalty for avoidable contact that involved multiple drivers. Again, these are all kind of the same thing, but either way, that's a negative 20-point penalty, 3 different occasions. So if I remember to, I'm going to try to grab those and actually show you what happened from Auto Club. And like I said, this stuff is sometimes clear as day. You can really tell. These guys are on wheels, so there's no way that they're actually just getting crazy loose. You know, they're not on a thumbstick. But yeah, you know, everything seemed to be so good for so long in this Road America race, but it's really kind of going to be a in-depth analysis on the race itself. Like, I don't know what this is, but I'm sure penalties will be handed out. Not directly that one, because that's that's something on the light side of what we're going to see today. That wasn't even that bad in comparison to what happened actually throughout this race and the PS4 race. So by those standards, I'd be pretty surprised if that was any sort of penalty. Yeah, that was a big send, but that was nothing like what we're going to see. So after that first caution, I think the field gets about 1 or 2 green flag laps done. And now they're all battling for, what is this, maybe 4th? I think 4th place, so they're heading down into turn 1. The footage just speaks for itself. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, these guys are on wheels. I can't really explain how that happened. But I mean, sometimes it just seems like if things aren't going your way in the league, then, just maybe try to get a yellow and get the damage fixed, and you're right back up to the field. I think there needs to be more of a penalty for having damage. Let's say drivers, their front end is all torn up, and, you can just get that fixed under caution immediately. Yeah, you might start in the back, but your car's literally fixed by that point. I think if there is a more strict damage system in the league, it would not only encourage drivers to race better, but it would also obviously encourage them to race more cleanly. So like I said, everybody that was involved in that wreck, that was a hard hit to the inside wall. But he's sure right back in the thick of things, except for he's in the back of the field. So I don't know, maybe if there's a system to where, let's say you have a certain amount of damage, maybe hold them in the pits under caution, just restart them 1 lap behind or something. And now it's hard to tell exactly what happens throughout everything, because the broadcast view may be a little different from the actual driver's perspective, but the 4 car he couldn't have turned right. In no way in my mind would you ever just turn right in a left-hand corner, so I think he got punted. And then it's pretty much a, what would you call it, a Black Friday sale, everybody take what you can get kind of deal here. Then it looks like maybe the 42 and the 4 had some beef at some point in the race, or some point throughout the season, because the 4 car gets sent and that causes another caution. I think, like I said, I think this is product of drivers not having to worry about damage, when you can just go into pit road and get your car repaired instantly. It doesn't incentivize racing clean. And this is pretty much how it happened until the end of the race. As you see, there's 2 to go right now. I really thought the PS4 side was going to be better than this, but to be honest with you, it was worse. And I obviously want the eNASCAR Heat Pro League to succeed. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't care. I'm sure there's going to be a hefty list of penalties that come as a result of this. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't. I think sitting out some drivers would definitely make them think twice. Another thing about the league is that you have to know that people are watching, and there's always going to be, whenever there's dirty driving, there's going to be clips that are sent in. This is actual footage that was leaked to Twitter of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. If you're wondering why they're not in their official paint schemes, there's something where they can't run them in game. This is NASCAR Heat Ford, by the way, so they can't actually run them in game, but they do show up as the proper schemes on the broadcast. It looks like the 4 car to me gets sent here. We'll wait for the replay to line it up. The 4 car, I think it's sent into the grass by I can't really tell who that is. Then comes back up on the racetrack. Sideswipes a car into the grass, and then this car that we're on board with has a run, and he just gets put into the wall for nothing to do. Everybody, I think, in the Pro League is fully aware of, the clips like these that exist. There's no doubt in my mind that this was sent in. I just found this on Twitter. But I'm sure you all can agree that a league that holds a title pro league could certainly be a lot more pro than this. And things are heating up. Everybody wants that shot to be in the championship race where there's thousands upon thousands of dollars on the line. So now I can just analyze the PlayStation 4 side and then collect my thoughts and get out of here. The PlayStation 4 race started out a lot like the Xbox race did. It was very clean for the first maybe, I would say 33-40% or so. And then things just got wild after that. And I forgot, the PlayStation 4 race actually went green quite a ways. They actually made green flag pit stops. So then you have the 14 and 95 who stay out on slightly older tires, and the race just goes crazy from here on out. Obviously the guys on fresher tires are trying to eat up the guys on old tires. 3 wide into 1 corner, probably not a good idea, but who am I to say? Sloppy Joe takes the lead, which was really cool as a fan. Sloppy Joe is a big reason as to why I watch the league. I'm not sure if I would watch the league if I was watching Jim, Bob, Joe, Terry go around the track. Like, I don't know who any of those people are, but since I knew Sloppy Joe, it really incentivized me to watch the league, right? But anyways, there's a bump and run in just about every corner here. You see the 13s out front. Actually, let me rewind. I think I wasn't exactly paying attention. Someone got punted, though. They went like 3 or something. No, yeah, that was actually a pretty decent corner. 95 sent it quite a bit. 18 missed the corner completely. But we're coming up on the next restart. It's Red 4424 on. He's technically in the lead, although he's starting on the wrong lane. Sloppy Joe's on the preferred line inside. I don't even know what you call this send, because the 7 car went all the way to the tire barrier. That's how like bad the send was. The 2 went into the grass, so the field reset, and the 14 took it 3 wide, which punted the 8. They went about, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 wide. It was just complete chaos. 13 had enough of the 14 and just yeeted him, which was, it was kind of funny. I think he had it coming. But at the same time, this is the Pro League, and gosh, that's not very pro. If you guys watch a couple of the Pro League races, you'll eventually start to realize that mainly the Stewart-Haas drivers are the most aggressive out on the track most of the time. Think of it like they're the Kyle Busch of the NASCAR Heat Pro League. They're obviously very talented drivers, really good at making setups, but they do get overly aggressive. And even on social media, they're kind of like the trash talkers of the league. The team has kind of like a manager who puts on this WWE type performance. It's I thought it was pretty interesting the first season, but it's honestly getting a tad bit annoying. Just someone clearly doing something wrong, and then on Twitter, what do you mean? We never did anything wrong. I can't see why you would say such a thing. Maybe you need a new pair of glasses. It is kind of funny, but I don't think it's a little too extreme for what it is. The goal is not to make the reputation worse, but that's almost what's happening. But the race pretty much finished this way. The 18 wins. This was not a race to be proud of. For sure not. I fortunately was invited into the PS4 side of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League Season 2 preseason, and the race we did at Mid-Ohio in Xfinity cars was nothing like this. I was actually quite surprised by how clean things were in the preseason. The racing, the driving was excellent. Yeah, sure, I got pretty much killed on a turn, but ultimately I didn't cry about it. I just went about my race and did my own thing. So yeah, that was just a quick analysis. It might have not been quick, but it was just an analysis on the Pro League, their most recent race. I thought that would make for a good video. Hopefully it did. If at any point I made it seem like all the drivers are really bad in this league, that's totally not the case. There are some really good ones, like your Slade Gravett, Tyler Dohar, Brian Tedeschi, guys on PS4 like Joey Stone, Josh Harbin, TJ McGowan. So yeah, sure, there's always drivers that, in any racing series, that are going to be way more aggressive than others, maybe not make the best decisions, but, for every bad driver out there, there's 2 or 3 great drivers, and the same stands true in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. Some of the things I'm seeing right off the bat that I would recommend to make it better is the damage concept that I was talking about earlier. Ultimately, I think the product, the actual game itself, will be a lot better if there's like a season 3 or 4 on NASCAR Heat 6, let's say. I think if physics are adjusted, I think the league has potential to be a lot better. I think penalties will be given. I think maybe 1 or 2 drivers, I don't know who exactly, might be parked for the race. That was just kind of me talking about the current state of the NASCAR Pro League. Want to see it get better. So I definitely hope no one sees this as kind of bashing. I just, with how things went down in the Pro League yesterday, I thought this would make for a decent video. Plus, I wanted to touch on some of these subjects for a little while. Hopefully some of the things I brought up will allow the league to improve at least a little bit. I know I didn't go crazy in depth with everything, but yeah, overall I want to see the league do well. And well, that's pretty much it, so see ya.